Hello, and welcome to Safe Space, episode 11. Yes, this is a live tabletop role-playing show where a group of people who like to roll dice, some of them get scared, the warden maybe gets told afterwards how much of a horrible human being he is, and we all genuinely have a great time playing the Mothership game system from Tuesday Night Games. This one here, which you should get your hands on. My name is Vince Hunt, and I will be your storyteller, GM, Warden, as it's known in the Mothership world. And I am joined by 4 wonderful players who have crafted amazing characters, and I have no idea what they're going to do this week, so it's going to be brilliant. And those players are...
Hello, I'm Jim, and I shall be playing ZAM BRAZEL.
And I can't remember who I am. I'm Lizzie, and I'll be playing Wendy.
I'm Gavin, and I'll be playing Blaze Kelvin.
And I'm PJ, and I am playing Dr. Bill Forrest.
See, Gavin had to remind himself of who he's playing because he didn't start this campaign with that character, which says what Mothership can do to you. Although that character's still around. It's still around. You may not have heard the last of Gavin's... No, I'm not going to say the name of the character. You've got to go back to an early episode to find out why that would be an issue.
You can't remember, can you?
I know. Oh, I remember that character's name.
No one forgets that character's name.
No one ever does. But you should also not forget that this is a science fiction horror campaign. And therefore, there may be some descriptions of psychological horror, monsters, gore, violence, some tense situations. There's a lot of stuff that goes down in the Mothership world, but within this game itself. If you've watched some of our previous episodes, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. Nightmarish visions and the like, hauntings. We've got it all, baby. So stick with us for the next couple of hours. But if that's not your bag, if some of my descriptions, which creep out my players, so I hope it doesn't give you nightmares. If that's too much for you, then pull the ripcord, leave now. Thank you for watching so far. Actually sounds like we know what we're talking about at this moment, but once the game gets going, it all goes out the window. But speaking of which, I think if we're all ready, aren't we? We've all got a dice, we've all got our notebooks. Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah?
How'd you play again?
Do you want us to hold up bits of paper to the screen?
No. I'm not a teacher. Just behave yourselves. Just behave yourselves as we get ready to play Safe Space. Last time, aboard the Susan O'Brien, our crew continued to recover from their traumatic experience aboard the cruise liner, the Icarus. After putting one of their own into their quarters after she passed out from exhaustion and some kind of mental break, the rest of the crew tried to settle down themselves. Blaze Kelvin broke apart the handcrafted shrine that Wendy had built to some god of her own making, and found amongst the strange bits and bobs something unusual. A powerful military-grade sniper rifle, broken up and hidden away in specific places so no one else would find it. Blaze hid it away, but made sure to tell his fellow military veteran where it could be found, and that its existence was still a secret to the rest of the crew. Elsewhere, Dr. Bill Forrest experienced some of his own strange occurrences. His solitary time looking into details about the Icarus and what was happening aboard that ship were interrupted by sounds and movements aboard his own vessel. It was what sounded like a young child running through the halls. How that was possible was anyone's guess, but he went to investigate and eventually came face to face with a ghostly visage that shocked him so much he passed out. And PJ thought it was his character having a nightmare, but it wasn't.
Oh,
Wendy, who did have a nightmare, awoke from it. It was one of darkness, techno-organic tentacles and hungry voices. But when she awoke, still healing from her injuries, she seemed to be quite the changed woman. Her mental focus had shifted, and she proceeded to shave her head and train with a renewed military precision. Even her personality was a little bit readjusted. And ZAM BRAZEL, well, after all that had happened, and being so close to being lost to the void of space, ZAM finally got a night's rest, thanks to the hum of the ship's engines that he loves so much. Captain Austin spoke to her crew about the situation they were in. She had no rest of her own, as she had spoken to the Gibbous Inc. management to relay their predicament and call for help. Firstly, the monstrous ship that had been the source of many nightmares was no longer following them. But the situation still wasn't great, and every day meant more fuel, food and resources. So, the Susan O'Brien and its crew had two options. They turn off the engines, ration their supplies and wait the many weeks it would take for the help to arrive in that sector. Or they spend some of that much needed fuel and resources to head to a mining colony situated on a planet a little off the beaten path, but should they reach there they could rest up and recover, and when the much needed help finally got there they'd be able to fix their ship. So a path was chosen, not knowing if that hideous ship would arrive to torment them once again. The colony seemed like the safest option, and so they spent their resources to make that journey. During the trip, the crew also did what they could to recover, both physically and mentally, in all manner of different ways, which the players were quite pleased about because they were very close to either losing their minds or dying completely. But they managed to heal up and settle down a little more so that they could wait for the help that they very much needed. Before reaching their destination, however, the Junkers also got a call from someone at Echelon Foundation HQ. One Regis Valmont, who was the overseer for the Icarus project, and someone who immediately rubbed the crew up the wrong way. Having received the report of their time on the cruise ship, Valmont believed them all to be suffering psychologically from a long stint at the edges of space. He chose to ignore what he was being told and what he had read, and told them that as they didn't do the job they were contracted to do, they would not be paid, and the advance that they had been given for the contract would be frozen. The crew, as you can see from the players who had just suddenly been reminded of what happened, they were less than impressed. Dr. Forrest attempted to question him. ZAM gave him some classic Brazel sass, and Wendy even threatened the man's life, which was quite surprising to the GM at the time. But Valmont didn't seem to care, and it wasn't long before a tired captain and her crew told him where to stick his contract and hung up before he could continue with his berating. Despite that, they had actually recovered somewhat. Can you imagine that? And before long, they eventually saw the light at the end of the tunnel in the form of the planet known as Cassius Prime. And that's where we pick up our session this week. Just the brief mention of Regis Valmont ignited something in... Now, be careful with your language, players. You know I've warned you before. God, I am a teacher.
Fuck.
Shout out to all you Trapdoor fans out there. Anyway, we open this week's session on the Susan O'Brien, approaching a large green-tinted planet. For the players, I will just take them to the vision of Cassius Prime, and I will show you lovely people as well. So, they approach the green planet as this large mining ship gets ever closer, and the captain is she's on the radio speaking to the people in the Cassius HQ, and she's there in her cockpit. Cassius Tower, this is the Gibbous Incorporated vessel, ident number Sierra Omega Bravo 1312716. We've been told that you're the kind souls who will be putting us up for a few days until we can get our ship fixed. I do hope that offer still stands. There's a moment before you hear on the radio. This is Prime Control. Good to hear from you. That's correct. We'll be sending you the landing coordinates now. We've got a small storm hitting us at the moment, but it shouldn't give you any trouble. Nothing more than a little turbulence on your descent. Have a safe landing, and we'll have a crew waiting for you on your arrival to pick you up. Thanking you kindly, Control. She turns around and looks to whoever is on the bridge with her at that particular moment. She looks to you all. Well, so I'm going to start the descent fairly soon. I think we're going to need to make sure that all our things are packed up, because we're going to be staying on solid ground for the next few weeks. So y'all make sure you got everything you need, all your things and all your clothes and everything. And yeah, let's before I make our descent, make sure that our guests get buckled up and ready for it. Once you've done that, then y'all get your butts up here so we can park this puppy without scratching her. And you can go about basically getting your things together. Your little overnight bags, or where?
It's hand luggage dimensions for cabin baggage dimensions for this is no.
I mean, this is probably these are probably big. They're like small crates that everyone has, and you can pack in it whatever you wish. If there's anything of particular note that I need to know about that you want to take with you.
Going to put Admiral Mittens in her carry case.
Ah, yes. The Admiral. I forgot about her. Yes, and you can make sure she's all there. And certainly the survivors of the Icarus, you're the person that they've had the most dealings with, Doc. And certainly they're all just making sure that everything's all right. They over the past time on the lead up to Cassius Prime, no longer are they wearing these sort of dirtied... I mean, these were nice sort of clothes, the sort of pyjama-like uniforms that they are wearing from the Icarus. But now they've all sort of like got their own overalls from the O'Brien. They found, they've all been given their own sort of like Gibbous Inc. branded overalls. So they look like part of the crew, even though they look, they probably don't look like their hands have done a day's work. And certainly Sarah's she's a lot more chilled out. She's still traumatized, but over the past couple of weeks, she's not too far from your side. And the other two, you can get them all buckled up into place. If there's anything you want to do before we land, let me know. You just want to get on the solid ground.
I put my shredded and stained dress uniform in the bag.
In the bag.
I'm taking that with me.
You're taking it with
I'm
you.
going to take Bernice with me.
Okay. You're going to take your laser cutter with you?
Yep.
That thing that looks like a massive Gatling gun?
Yeah.
Okay, I just thought I'd check.
Again.
Huh?
Just drawn a face and lipstick on it again.
No. Just that one time. It gets lonely in space. Yeah, I think Zam's gonna have his Hawaiian shirt on. He's in holiday mode now.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh, brilliant. That's
sunglasses.
the crew. I mean, they have been advised that because of the storm and Cassius Prime, on the lead up, you can wear all of this gear. You can have your stuff, but you're going to have to wear the hazard suits just for the external atmosphere. The hazard suits, which are part of the Mothership campaign, I think it's an AC of 7. I think armor class of 7, but these are suits that they're not space suits and they're not tactical armor suits. These are things that are very much for on-planet exploration. Imagine almost like a slightly better biohazard-like suit kind of thing. I'd imagine that each company would have its own branding, and certainly the Junker crew have their own it has its own look to it. So everyone sort of gets ready and loads everything onto the cargo lift as well. All of the luggage is strapped down, ready for the descent.
Wendy is packing her stuff, which is not much. She's basically kind of as military looking as you can be in corporate wear. But she's deliberately packing a crate with lots of kind of wrenches and hand tools and bits of scrap metal that might have some value, and in amongst that are the bits of the rifle. Taken apart, but just kind of hidden in plain sight in amongst a crate of metal bits.
Did you retrieve it from the crate that has the little mouse head?
Yes.
Drawn on it?
I did. Wendy did retrieve.
Oh, the penis that you drew on a box, so Wendy would knew where her sniper rifle was.
Fortunately, there was only one cargo crate that had a penis drawn on it, or a mouse.
Yeah.
So,
Well, Blaze hasn't been awake that long, so... Brilliant. So, yes. So everyone certainly would have their own crates and can pack everything up. You wouldn't be able to put Bernice in a crate, Zam?
No, you'll sling
no
that
one
over
puts
his
Bernice
shoulder.
in a crate.
Yeah.
Tried that. That's where it all went wrong.
Tried, yeah.
Yeah.
I've got my gun as well.
Okay.
Yeah, I figured
Yeah.
Sam will have his toolbox in there, and then just clothes. He's not going to take. He hasn't got any personal items really, apart from his pamphlet, Relic of the Flesh. But he's going to leave there.
Which sounds darker than it is, folks, because when we did character creation, that pamphlet became something else indeed. Okay, so everyone, you get everything packed up, and you notice that the captain has also. She's packed up the android, Dick Sloane. The half of him that there is. But he was on a tarp, she's packed him up sort of better. She hasn't just folded him into a crate. He's in a proper sort of case now. And you notice that she's taking what's left of him with her. And then she begins sort of landing the ship. As everyone gets into the bridge, she asks the crew to join her on the bridge. Everyone's got their own seats and you can buckle up. And certainly as you enter the atmosphere, the ship rumbles. And it certainly is. There is a fair bit of turbulence, but everyone's sort of buckled in. And the swirling atmosphere, you see it like from the view windows, like you see space, and then like just nothing but mist and fog, and then like it starts to turn to a greenish sort of atmosphere. Before after a certain the initial heavy rumble dies down, but it's still a shaky descent, and they were right about that fair amount of turbulence. But it's not enough for me to get you to make any rolls. And as the ship is venturing downwards, you see outside the feet of the ship extend outwards, which is always a cool scene in any science fiction film, when you see the ship just begin lowering down and you just hear the swirl of the storm outside. And you can even feel, you know, as you're getting lower, the shuddering and shaking of this. I mean, yours is a large ship, but it's still being jostled a little bit. When I say it's a large ship, just to put this in place for anyone watching, this whole time the Susan O'Brien has been a junker ship. Yes, for want of a better term, they're almost like they're garbage men in space, but they have to collect a vast amount of scrap salvage. So this is a big ship. Their cargo bay. Probably sometimes when we're playing, it seems like a small, almost Starbug-like kind of vessel, but it's a bit bigger than that on a lot of the cargo bays and stuff. But even then, this ship is still feeling the turbulence a little bit. But eventually, with a boom, the ship lands, and we cut to the cargo bay lift lowering. You see a cool scene of like the crew of the O'Brien, all dressed in their hazard suits, lined up. You see the cases and crates, the swirling wind around them. You can tell, you can kind of identify who is who purely from, you know, the size and shape of them, because they have like a lot of them have like full-on visors. And as the crew are there, you do see, as it's lowering and it sort of clanks into place on the floor, and this open space, which is a lot of rocky terrain and desert. Well, not desert, but there's sand and there's a lot of mist everywhere. You see a couple of figures approaching on foot, and behind them what seems to be a very large all-terrain vehicle, but less like the one you have in your ship, and this is more almost like a shuttle bus in some kind of way, but it has tracks on it. And you see that these figures are also dressed in similar sort of hazard suits, but these are sort of mustard yellow and black with the recognisable symbol of the Explore Surveyors Company on the uniforms as well. It's a logo that you've seen before on some of the equipment that you've been dismantling and junking for Gibbous. In fact, one of the initial jobs you had was to break down and explore Surveyors drill. That didn't go completely to plan, but and as the crew are there, the captain is reaching down to just sort of just check. You see it on the Android sort of case, and the lead figure sort of rocks up to you, and she approaches you, Zam, as the crew's there. She approaches there. So is this all of you?
Yeah, this is us.
Great. Our guys will load all your stuff onto the cat. So if you follow me, we'll get you on board and out of this weather.
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah, take this. He's gonna hand his crate over.
You see this sort of. I mean, how big is the crate, Zam?
It's not massive.
Yeah. So,
oh,
thanks.
Yeah, thanks. I didn't know we had valet service.
It's pretty. I'm not a valet. This is pretty light. Do you not have much stuff?
What?
This is pretty.
The storm.
This is pretty light.
Yeah, it's quite light. Yeah, if you could just tuck it in the back, that would be great. Thanks.
Okay. And this figure looks at the rest of you. It's a feminine voice that you're hearing. And she just looks at the rest of you. Welcome to Cassius Prime. She just. You see an eye roll, and then she turns back, carrying this crate, and you see that a couple of other figures head over, and one of them has is driving like a mini forklift style truck with small like wheels, and it's got like a sort of pallet on it, and they as they begin sort of loading up all of the gear, and the captain sort of just be careful with that bit, you know, the case that carries Dick Sloane. The other figure who's got like a She's got like a crate in her hands, is leading you over to the, like I said, this huge sort of industrial style bus, clearly made for transporting people and cargo. If you imagine like a shuttle bus at an airport, one of those ones that has that sort of fold in the middle, it's kind of like that, but it's made for like, you know, industrial workers and meant to go over a lot of sort of rough terrain. She steps inside, the doors. And she steps inside, and you see Zam as she steps inside, she just throws the crate down, like boom. He just throws it on the floor as it slides, skids. She's like, get on board.
And somebody's stuck in the tip.
And everyone sort of filters on. And once inside, it's like, okay, is that everyone? Oh, good. And the figure hits the button, and you hear the door sort of with a large shuck noise. And you can tell this is the sound of something like becoming airtight and like as it does so. And you can see out of the windows, you can see the figures still packing up the gear. This figure sort of begins removing their sort of hazard suit mask, she's flipping it, unbuckling it. You can remove your mask now if you want. The air filters in here make breathing easier than in these goddamn suits. She sort of pulls the mask off, and she sort of hangs it up on a nearby sort of hook and sort of runs her hand through her hair. She's a sort of she looks like a slightly fuller figured woman with dark skin and afro like hair. She's got almond eyes, and she's sort of just running it through her hair and go, oh, God damn, she's really throwing it down out there. Before she looks at everyone with a full and cheerful smile. She's got a little bit of a gap between her teeth, but she seems surprisingly bright and bubbly. That's better. Once we get you all packed in, we'll head in. My name's Bex. Nice to meet you all. She's just looking at this crew, just sitting there. Okay, so you're a talkative bunch, I see.
We've it's been a time.
Oh yes, I'm sorry. I heard you guys had a problem with your hyperdrive. That sucks. I'm really sorry to hear that. I mean, I think some of our guys will be able to help you out when the time comes. I mean, and she points out the window. Yeah, and if you look back, you can see it where the O'Brien is, just sort of past it. There's a small sort of group of sort of ships sort of parked up to the west a little bit and a bit further back to where the O'Brien resides. It's hard to make out details with the dust and the wind, but I mean, these ships are certainly dwarfed by the large shape of the O'Brien in the foreground. She continues. Yeah, we got a couple of our shuttle transports over there have jump drives. I mean, nothing as fancy as yours, I'm sure, but some of our engineers know their shit when it comes to fixing those things, so I'm sure they can help out when replacements come in.
We'd be grateful.
Yeah, we got a shit engineer too.
Oh, one of you's an engineer, are you?
Yeah, that would be me.
Oh.
We also got a comedian who thinks he's a Marine.
Well, you've also got an engineer who you thought was a valet, so it's best not to judge.
Yeah, you did a bad job of that. Look, you put a dent in my crate.
Well, you didn't tip high enough, honey.
You ain't getting no tip at all.
So, you guys have been out here quite some time, huh?
Yes.
And
she's just... Okay, I see.
Zam's just going to be sat there. He's just going to sit down. He's waiting to go.
What? Have you brought Bernice with you onto this thing?
Yeah.
Is that what I think it is?
No, I'm just really pleased to see you.
Well, I'm surprised you didn't keep it in your pocket. But
yeah.
You might have to check that in when we get in. You're not going to be able to.
Standard laser cutter.
You can't just walk around. Do you just walk around your home with a standard laser cutter?
Don't ask him that question.
There's a Bernice at home, but it's not as useful as this.
Oh, her name's Bernice, is it?
Yep.
Oh.
You got a problem with that?
Hey, I don't have a problem with that. I just hope you're treating her well.
I treat her better than the other one.
She's sort of like... So, I think they're taking their time. Oh, the guy should be here pretty quickly. And you can hear the the sounds of like the equipment, like just and machinery sort of loading your wares onto the back. They take it back, and the cargo door, lift door, is rejoined, and the sort of truck shudders and shakes as they load everything up. Before, like a couple of moments later, like the workers that were uploading sort of step up into the driver's sort of cab, and just there's a voice that plays over the tannoy. Yeah, we're all packed up. Oh, thank God for that. Let's go. And Beck sort of like sits down, and she's just opposite sort of Zam, just staring at him like, what the?
He's going to be polishing bits of beneath.
I sit next to Zam, just lean over and go, I think she likes you.
Yeah, I don't care.
Zam's the best.
You see the dent she put in my crate? You just can't get the staff these days.
You should have put a dent in your head.
Ah, you shut up.
And as the captain's there next, sat near you, Wendy. How you doing, Wendy? You doing okay?
I'm doing fine, Captain.
Okay.
And Wendy is looking out of the window. If there is, assuming there is a window to bus.
Yeah. There's sort of, there
Just
are
with a
windows.
small little viewing hatch. To look for distances to the nearby buildings, distances between the ship and the other ships, and just kind of scoping it out.
So she's immediately sort
mapping
of like,
it.
Yeah, in her head she's mapping how far it would get from this ship to this ship, and clocking it, and the captain sort of, okay. She just leaves you to it. She's clearly, her thoughts are elsewhere. What's Blaze doing at this moment in time as the vehicle begins rumbling onwards?
Just standing there.
And so you haven't sat down.
No.
You know, the best thing is we're all here to relax. And we're all just really tense because we know it's all going to kick off at some point.
Oh
Both
my
in
God!
the game and out of the game.
Yeah.
When Wendy, to facilitate the flow of game and conversation, Wendy will ask Bex, what goes on here, and security arrangements, military presence.
Military presence? Well, we don't have so much a military presence. When we have security. This is a mining facility. We've got like a living complex, and there's the machinery. We've got like the recycle department and everything. We've got. I mean, it's not the flashiest place in the world, but we got a few mod cons as well as the biodome, which, well, it's pretty cool. You'll see that for yourself. But yeah.
Do you have an armory?
Why wouldn't we need an? And she looks back to Zam. Is he going to be that much of a problem?
No.
Yes.
Maybe.
Oh, no, we don't have an. Well, I mean, that you'd have to ask the security patrols about that, but I don't know. I mean, I've seen the security. Some of them are armed when they have to deal with people that are getting thrown out of bars and such. But I think that's just a self-defense kind of thing. But
So no guns.
so let me get this. Hold on,
The bars.
you're a junker vessel, right? You're salvage and
Yeah.
Like Doug said, it's been a tough time.
I'm a bit piratey then.
It's been a tough time for us all, but we're here now.
There's splendid ladies.
It's good to be back on land.
Okay. Well. Look, I'm sure it's gonna be fine here. Like, I'm sure they've set you up. Fine. And she seems
I rest my hand on my concealed weapon.
after those And
Gun, pistol.
yeah, and the little figure of Roy Zetterling sort of looks at you, Blaze. You didn't. That's not what I think it is it?
What do you think it is?
Well, you didn't. Well, there was all this talk of arms and such. You didn't. That's not a weapon, is it?
Keep asking and you'll find out.
Well, it's really coming down cats and dogs out there, isn't it? and and the awkward small talk. And you notice after this sort of the questions from the crew, Bex is a little bit more on edge. The bright, bubbly, welcome to the planet is now.
Great.
Okay.
I'd just like to point out, Zam was just being Zam. The rest of the crew had
Yeah, that's
every
the
opportunity to be
problem.
really
I
nice
mean, in some
people.
games, Zam being
know?
Zam would require an intimidation check.
The doc has released the environmental seals on the Admiral's science fiction cat carrier, and is just
Oh,
now
I love
reaching
that! I
into-
love the idea of that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
obviously.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
Reaches in to give her a stroke.
And that's when Bex warms up a little more. She's like, oh, and you can see her eyes light up, and she,
Oh, you're not
Can I-
allergic, are you?
oh no. I've got a cat of my own back home. May I pet him?
Her?
Oh, sorry.
Yes, as long as she gives permission. She outranks us all.
I completely understand. My little Vesuvius runs our house, so my lady, may I pet you?
Zam's just going to mutter under his breath. "Oh, for God's sake."
And there's a you feel an elbow in your ribs, Zam. That comes from one of the other survivors from Eucharist. This time, Quill Allback.
William,
Okay.
Quilliam Allback.
Big Quill.
Just give it a rest, man. And the journey continues. This odd, awkward journey where
Who does he think he is?
Admiral Mittens was the one that made the atmosphere a little bit better. The power of pets.
what she does.
You eventually, the vehicle rumbles onwards, and you eventually you see in the distance like a large complex, like a huge complex, and as you roll over the crest of a small hill, you can see that this complex sits on the edge of a large crater, and you can see it's made up of several large and solid-looking interconnected domes made of metal. And there's a large tunnel. There's a tunnel at the front of it leading into it. Would my players like to see it?
Yeah.
No, you're alright.
No.
No, that's all right then.
Oh, I bothered her.
Just send it to me. I'll have a look.
Yeah. As
Figure out where all the perches are.
and the doors to the large, you eventually reaches the tunnel entrance, and the vehicle as the doors open up. As they do so, Doc, what are you doing at this time?
I'm just sat there holding the cat carrier. I don't know if Bex is still stroking Admiral Mittens or not. If she's not, I am.
As you as Bex is just she's just finishing her time with Admiral Mittens, and you just glance outside the window amongst the storm. You think you see a dark shape somewhere, probably in the distance. It's hard to tell. There seems to be a shape of. It's a humanoid type shape, but it seems to be quite dark. Quite dark. About 150 feet in the distance, just before the vehicle rumbles onwards.
Okay, there, dog.
Yes, fine.
What you looking at? And he's gonna just kind of lean over, invade some personal space, and try to get around it.
Zam,
slowly leaning to.
and you as you look out, it's hard to tell. You see rocks and wind and dust as the vehicle is now moving onwards. You're not quite sure what the doc was looking at. Can't see anything.
It's more crappiest Prime than Cassius Prime, am I right? Yeah.
I think I'd rather talk to the rocks.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And the vehicle moves inside the tunnel, and the doors shut behind. The sound and the rumble of the wind outside sort of dying away, and replaced with the lone sound of a vehicle rumbling onwards. Now like a bus in a tunnel. You know how like when you go through a large tunnel, the sound changes, doesn't it? It's you can just hear the rumbling of the wheels. So the windows pass by, like you can see dimly. It's a dimly lit tunnel. It's not full on halogens, but you know there are a few sort of halogen lights. And some things pass by. Could everyone give me? This will not include sanity. This is not a sanity check. No stress. This will not include stress. Could everyone give me a speed check?
Ooh. 78.
Say speed.
Speed, yeah.
Speed.
Did anyone
78.
Did anyone get a success?
No, 91.
No.
The new dice are bad dice. New dice want to play different game.
Okay. So the tracks rumble onwards, and eventually, it's like another 5-10 minutes. It's a long tunnel, this, but eventually it leaves and it's into a large space. You're still inside, but this is more like a sort of warehouse style docking bay. It opens up into like like there's several sort of large structures. There's platforms with different sort of structures leading up with steps between them. You can see there's a couple of these large vehicles that you're in, as well as some smaller, heavy-duty looking like all-terrain jeeps. Something that probably looks like it moves a bit quicker. I would imagine. None of you have piloting, do you, or anything like that?
No.
No. I think these you can definitely, you'd all be able to tell that these would definitely be a speedier way to move about on the surface. It's not it's not a military grade vehicle, but it's definitely decent. And these are sort of parked up. There's a couple of figures sort of moving around, and eventually pulls to a stop. And Bex is like, "Okay, we're here. If you unbuckle your seatbelts. Not that." And she looks to Zam. Not that you even buckled up for 1 second.
Yeah, he didn't tell me to. You're supposed to have like a sign or something, you know?
Yeah. And then she just slides over your crate with a foot.
Well, I'll
Anyway.
get that, shall I?
Please. And she steps outside and says, "Okay, if you follow me, the guys will bring all your stuff up, and we'll get you all checked in." Well, I say checked in. This isn't really a hotel, but I believe.
Yeah, you got that right.
Do you believe they know where you're going? Is he? And she looks to you, Wendy. Is he always?
Mm-hmm.
Is that why you're all?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I hear you. And she begins leading you up the steps. Now, at this point, you could actually you can take off your hazard suits. This is a completely sort of safe environment, so everyone can take the hazard suits off. You see, Beck starts to as well, and you can see she's just got like overalls and sort of like almost like a heavy duty sort of dungarees kind of thing going on. And she leads you up the steps to where it says the sort of Cassius Prime. You see an Explore logo with administration for Explore surveyors leading up there. And she leads you into this administration building. Basically, it opens up, and this feels. It definitely feels like sort of not being checked in, but this is definitely more of a sterile sort of admin environment. But before you get to the main area, she leads you through a small corridor, which is sort of, it's almost like a tunnel that as you walk through is going whoom, whoom. You see these lights sort of going whoom, whoom. And she goes, if you just pass through here, this is just fine. This is just your regulation sort of scanner. And she's passing through. As we cut to on the other side, figures sat at these stations, like looking at these screens. Any people out there who watch Total Recall, the original Arnold Schwarzenegger classic, and when they pass through the scanners and you can see an X-ray, this is that, as these figures are coming in. And certainly as you're walking through, there's a nah as you're sort of passing through. There's a couple of security-like figures. It's sort of like they're not in like tactical armor or anything like that. They're like, excuse me, sir, and they're looking at you, Blaze. Could you step this way, please?
They get their really big rubber glove for him.
Oh, you're gonna you'll have to come with us as well, sir.
Yeah, I'm ready. Primed and ready.
And they're just
I followed them.
yeah, it's just led off to the side. There's no, they don't lead you into a separate room or anything.
Question: did Admiral Mittens get through? Okay.
Admiral Mittens got through okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
She's not
Our
conceding it.
crates lead lined.
Is
Wait,
that-
did they take her out of the crate
Yeah.
to put it?
Oh, we lost Gavin for a moment. Just when I mean, he's so scared of what might happen next.
Oh, no, not Admiral Mittens.
Yeah, he's so scared of what might happen next. Are you back, Gav?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you. Yeah.
What did they do to you,
Look,
Gav?
look. Don't tell them what they did, Gav. Don't tell them what they did. This between you and me. He's gone again.
But he thinks he's been gone for 7 years.
He thinks he's been gone. Yeah, he thinks he's been gone. Oh dear. But we'll pick up with Zam and Blaze shortly, as everyone else is. No one else was concealing anything, were you? That was all in your.
In all fairness, Sam's not concealing anything.
No, but he has got a.
Laser cutter.
Yeah. I don't want to use dirty
This
language.
is why he brought it.
Yes. Stay with us, Gav. Don't worry, we'll cut back to you in a second.
I'm trying.
No, that's all right. All right, it's the internet, people. It's the internet. But it's like he's. Oh, we can hear you. It's just your camera.
Yeah.
I think it might just be a
Don't
camera.
worry.
Yeah. So everyone's just led through.
Animate Gav afterwards.
Yeah. We'll totally animate.
Little hand puppet.
Yeah. That'd be amazing. I need to put like a stock shot.
We did want the Muppet crossover, didn't
Oh
we? So, you know.
God, that'd be so good. Yes, as the rest are they're sort of you're held to one side for the moment whilst the others are spoken to, and certainly these not guards, but these two figures are sort of looking at you. They're fairly stocky. There's a sort of this older sort of black gentleman with sort of he's slightly sort of silvering grey hair, but he looks like he's. I mean, you would probably know, Blaze, that's someone who's maybe had some military background. Certainly had some sort of training. Looks like he can handle himself. And a slightly younger gentleman with him, who looks like he's trying to grow some sort of beard, but it's very patchy. He's trying to look the part. As the sort of the older gentleman, it looks at you and go, I'm afraid you won't be able to take that weapon in with you, sir. There's no
weapon?
No weapons allowed. Yes, you won't be able to take that.
You're telling me no mining facility is a laser cutter?
Oh yes, there's plenty of laser cutters and all kinds of industrial equipment here, but I'm afraid that's for use of Explore employees, and that is not a Explore piece of equipment. So
No,
we're
better.
not taking it away from you, sir. But we can put it in safe storage for you. But you won't be able to take that on board. They want to into the rest of the colony. That will not be allowed. You'll have to keep that with us. Yeah, the same goes for that piece you're carrying as well, sir.
Peace.
Captain,
If she hasn't already left.
Oh God, yeah, Blaze, what is it, hun?
Captain, they're trying to disarm me.
These two gentlemen are with me. Don't. What do you mean disarm
Yeah,
you?
they're trying to take Bernice.
What do you mean? I'll get to you in a minute, Zam. What do you mean disarm you? Why? You didn't.
Reveal my...
You didn't. Excuse me, gentlemen. Blaze. Please, honey. Please tell me you didn't bring a fucking gun to this place, Blaze.
Captain, we've never been here before and I don't trust them.
It's a fucking mining colony, Zam. Look, I understand. Okay, I
The
understand.
last place we went to was a cruise ship. And you weren't there, Captain.
She looks back at the security guards.
I mean, I hate to agree with the dumb lug, but he's got a point.
Look. Just a couple more minutes, gentlemen, please. Why didn't you try smuggling it in putting it in your case, Blaze? Why are you trying to? Did you not think they would scan you? No, clearly not. Well, just look. You're gonna have to give them.
It's no good in my case. What if they got the jump on us?
Look. I know you're worried about things, and I'm sure we'll be able to. Look, once we get settled in, I'll see what I can do. I'll try and grease the wheels and see if I can get this back to you. But I think if we're gonna get through these doors, you're gonna have to give this up right now, honey. Okay? Just for
I
now.
want it, Captain.
I know.
My leg's still no good.
I know. Look, if you want to take it out on anyone, take it out on Zam.
What?
Speaking of which, Zam, what the fuck are you taking that thing here for?
It's a mining colony. I might do some
What?
mining.
What, do you think you're going to do some fucking work experience? This is...
Maybe.
We are
How long are
here.
we here for?
We
I
are
get
here.
bored.
No, we're not going to get... Look, they are putting us up after
Yeah?
everything we've been through. They're not going to let you go head into the middle of goddamn nowhere and start fucking around with that laser cutter.
I might do some prospecting.
Gentlemen, you can take the cutter. Don't worry about him. He's fine. Just- Do you have any contraband on you, sir, as well?
Do I have any what?
Contraband.
I ain't got no contraband.
Well, then you're okay. Just give us the laser cutter.
He's wrestling with it.
I
as
step
they
up
take
to
it.
the,
the big guys. Just let go of
You
it,
be
sir.
careful.
Let go of it. I'll be
You
careful.
be careful with her,
I'll be
okay?
careful with it.
You be careful. Don't drop it.
And what's Blaze doing at this time? As the other sort of wispier fella sort of approaches you.
I wouldn't 100% believe him about the contraband. I suspect he might need a strip search.
Oh, really? Okay, well, thank you very
He's in
much.
the bathroom for a long time.
Oh, really? Okay. And he opens up a small case for you to drop the pistol into.
I look at the captain.
And she's like... She gives you a nod.
Take the clip out. Take one out the chamber. Put them in the case.
Thanks, sir. I will make sure that... and you can see he's a little bit nervous. Because you're like a... Blaze is a big fella now. and he's sort of dwarfing this younger, sort of skinnier man. He's like, I'll be sure that that they give you the ident number for this case should you, when you get it back. Thank you, sir.
I'll wait here for it.
Say thank you, please.
Thank you, Blaze.
As the captain is having
Been a
this
long
moment,
time since we were on the ground. Everyone's a little bit,
as Bex is just
sea level crazy.
looking at this, and she just looks at the rest of you like, is this normal? Is this okay? Well, we've got some pretty good bars here.
I was
so-
going to say, Bex, where's a good place for a girl to get a drink?
Hey, I will show you the way. Let's just...
Leave on.
But first, we need to make sure you get you checked in with the administrator once. Yeah, I mean,
Fucking admin.
I know it's
Admin.
I know it's a pain in the ass, but it's got to be done. So once they've taken the laser cutter from ZAM BRAZEL,
The doc has just been watching, enjoying the whole thing.
He gets to keep his own quarantined animal.
Hey, Skander.
PJ's so happy right now. As you're brought into the administrator's office, and he's there with like files and screens and stuff.
Is Zam not having a strip search then?
No, he isn't. The guy
He seems to really want one.
Yeah. No, I'm not going to do any rolling on
No,
that.
just waiting to kick
Body
off
save.
Yeah, make a body save. And I've got to roll a fear save for the bloke doing it. No,
Sanity check.
yeah, that's if he fails. No, make a panic check. As you're led through, and you see this figure sitting there, and he seems quite cheerful. Like he's he looks a little bit like.
Always seem cheerful.
He looks like Jared Harris. You know the actor? I love Jared Harris. He's like, hello, please sit down. My name is Alexei Dragonov. I am the administrator here. I am sorry to hear of your troubles up in the black, but hopefully you will get your ship fixed soon. Yes, but welcome to Cassius Prime. This should be I just need to fill in a few forms, make sure everything is okay in ship shape. I'm sorry if that is too soon for you, and then we will. I will show you the living and social complex. Yes. Do you have your ID cards? This will make things a lot easier. And of course, you all have your give us ink. So he goes through, checks all of those, and of course your files come up. At this point, the captain also talks about the fact that on the ship there are a couple of people in cryo. They're fine where they are, and obviously everything's. We haven't forgotten about the people that are still on the ship, by the way. Yeah, they're still there. Everything's
fish on there as well.
Yeah, there's or is there? Yeah, so she's just filling in a bit of the details, and they just going through. Oh, everything seems okay. But when it gets to the three survivors, they have no ID cards. I'm sorry. We don't have anything. Oh, I see. You are the people that this ship picked up. Well, if you fill in some forms, we will put you into the system, and it should be fine. We have enough habitats for you all, so it should be fine. And they all go.
They put you into the system.
Well, yes, everyone is in the system.
Yeah, everyone's in the system.
And he stops and just looks at the screen a second, and then back at you, Wendy. I see you have cut your hair.
Yeah.
Okay, and I don't get to keep my laser cutter.
It looks nice. And he's looking at the screen, and he looks. The rest of you notice he looks a little perplexed as he's. And everyone. They fill out their details, and Alexei hands them a sort of a card. It says, of course, while you're here, you can use your credit card. I'm afraid most of the alcohol and stuff, there will be a charge for it, as you are not Explore employees. I'm afraid, but the stay is you are not being charged for that. Your company is covering the bill for that. But it seems that anything else on alcohol, especially, we do not allow alcohol anywhere else apart from in the living and social area, due to the work that is done here. I hope you understand.
You Doc a look.
Pretends not to notice.
Yeah. Okay, so I believe everything is in order. So if you follow me, we will. Well, this is not a hotel, but I will show you the way you will be staying. And he leads you through. He's still quite cheerful, even though the moment with Wendy threw him off a little bit. And he leads you down to a monorail station, sort of open station, where you can see there's a few people waiting. Yes.
Wait, is it
What's it
monorail?
called?
Monorail. Go on, say it. Get it out of your systems.
I hear those things are awfully loud.
And you as you can see, this is a line where there's mostly the people that you see are miners in sort of bulky, dusty overalls, and sort of, they have like dirt-covered faces. They look like they just finished shifts and they look tired. And of course, the rest of you, you're fairly washed and clean, and you look pretty.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, for the first time
We look
in many
pretty.
sessions, you're put together. And eventually, like, the sort of train arrives, and Dragonoff sort of leads you on. And these are like it's like a large tube or sort of subway type train, built for one purpose. You can tell, like, to shepherd people to and from their shifts and their work, because this station is. There's a hub in the administration that leads to the social complex. There's also, you see, it also goes in the other direction towards like the mining complex and further in. But this is heading to the social area. And there's a couple of minutes of some awkward looks. There's a couple of like the miners who just sort of give you a funny look now and then before the train reaches its destination. And the doors open and the workers immediately begin sort of filing out. Sort of not much conversation happening, and they're just moving onwards. And Alexei sort of waits to let everyone pass. And you can smell this. There's almost it's like a acidic sort of dusty sort of smell. There's almost like a slight burning scent, the way this dust smells. And it fills the carriage for a moment as these people are filing out, before everyone leaves. And you see, like, even like Alexei sort of holds his breath for a moment, and when they're all going, he's like, oh, no, please follow me. And he leads you from there, or from this simple station. None of this, as I described this, none of this is super high tech Star Trek. This is still a mining complex. This is still metal and grates, and it's still decently made, but it's not super flashy. This is a working colony, and you can immediately start to smell the air difference. Just a difference in the quality of air as you get to this escalator and move upwards. And as you get to the top, you enter the enormous hub of the social and living complex. And it takes you a moment to take it all in. And that's where we're going to have our break. We haven't even got to the hotel rooms, and Zam's being a problem.
If I'm in room 237, I'm going to be very good.
Makes a note.
Zam's being a problem, the episode title.
Yeah. Zam's gonna zam.
Zam on holiday.
Yeah. But we'll find out after the break if this place is anywhere that the players need to worry about, or maybe they should just relax. We'll find out in 5. See ya. and welcome back. So, the crew of the O'Brien have reached the living and social hub of the Cassius Prime mining colony. And it is what it says on the tin. It's a working colony. And there's a large dome that you've just entered into. And as you watch people sort of moving around, doing their day-to-day, you see the people, like, for instance, you can see in the distance, disappearing in the distance, a lot of the people in their miners' overalls are just, they're making a beeline across the sort of court, heading towards these, you presume, their habitats, their sort of rooms, their places that they stay. But taking all this in, there's quite a few things to take in, but it suddenly hits you. It's been almost 20 months since you started this journey. I mean, on and off, you've slept in cryo, but the long stints of nothing but space and only the company of the people around you, your fellow crew, that's all you've known for this particular time. And now this is, in its simplest form, this is a sign of civilization in the strangest place on the edge of the sector. And it just sort of strikes you for a moment that, oh my god, you know, I'm around people again. The structure itself is a large dome, and in the centre, one of the first things you notice immediately is something surprising to you all. Something that you heard the figure Bex talk about. It's a smaller dome. It's a dome within a dome. But within that, you see it houses multi-platformed area where you can see gardens and like growing fresh fruits and vegetables as you walk by. You see a few workers sort of tending to, like, you know, they're wearing sort of like white. I mean, it's almost looks clinical in some ways. Their gardening gear, like white galoshes and kind of things like that, and they're tending to some of the crops. It's almost like a super space allotment. But it's on several different sort of platforms, and you can just see them working there. And as you move sort of around the outside of the biodome, there's several areas where you see sort of signs for bars, leisure activities. There's a pharmacy and medical sort of area. There's a small security station, and then you also see a monument of some kind as you walk across. And as you walk past like the bars, and like there's a couple of like small restaurants. There's like a canteen. There's a large canteen like area serving up all kinds of food, actual food rather than space food. You notice some of it. I say space food, but you imagine the sort of supplies that these guys have been on for a long time. And you can see like some of the bars, only a quick glimpse. They've, you know, this place has been here for a few years, but there's a certain dive bar quality to some of them. You know, dark and dimly lit. You can't hear the music from where you are, but there's certainly people there. And you see signs sort of flashing 24/7. But as you also, as I say, as you're walking around, you see like a monument. It seems to be a monument. It sort of sticks out from everything else, because everything else seems to be something to do with like the ongoing day-to-day living of this complex. It's a large block of steel, about 2 foot wide and 4 foot tall. From the top of it is displaying sort of a holographic 3D image that is just sort of showing upwards. It's a still image that seems to, it's got that old school holograph quality that as you sort of pass through, it has like the 3D effect to them. Seems to be a group of workers in sort of heavy duty overalls, looking like they're sort of smiling and posing for some unseen sort of camera. And there's some writing on it that you can't quite see, and you see like there seems to be some notes and some trinkets and messages on it. And the only thing you can really make out at this distance is it says the crew of Tunnel B6 never forgotten. But Dragunov doesn't even make a point of it as he's leading you onwards towards, there's 4 entrances towards the actual sort of the living complex itself. And you see that they're marked A block, D block, C block, and D block. And as he's walking, he goes, so you are in D block. This place is not, it is not really hotel, but the living quarters are comfortable, and you will have, I mean, I do not know how much room you have on your ship, but certainly it is spacious enough. Although there's not much in the way of a view. And he sort of chuckles to himself as he passes onwards. And you walk into the living complex, and certainly this is just several different platforms, lots of different rooms. There's sort of, it's a structure, just, this is almost like a hotel in some kind of way. It's just like big, almost like shipping containers that are made into rooms. There's lots of corridors leading in different directions. And he certainly leads you all one by one to your rooms. And he gives you each a little card, and so it says, here's your room key. This is specifically just for you, so do not give it to anyone else. You will find it is like I said, it is simple in there. There is running water, etc., and a shower facility and stuff. But we do not have we do not serve breakfast to your room. Yeah. Okay, well, and
what kind of joint is this?
Well, this is a mining colony, my friend. It is
No valet, no breakfast.
This is your room here. I'm afraid it is the smallest of the ones that we have been able to put aside, but you look to be smaller man. And and all of the rooms are. All of the rooms are very, if you imagine...
Doc, you said you wouldn't talk about that.
If you imagine a very basic hotel, do you know what I mean? It's just very simple. You've got like your sink, you got there's.
I mean, let me just point out, Zam doesn't care that it's a small room. So if you think you're punishing him, you're not.
I'm not. I don't punish my players. How dare you, sir? How dare you, sir?
Is there carpet?
Roll for carpet.
Roll for carpet. There's carpet.
Hey.
Does Zam have carpet, or does he just have like metal floor?
Zam doesn't have carpet.
Wendy is keeping her boots on.
Ah, is it? These are the nicer boots that she got.
Whatever boots we're wearing these days, I don't know.
Okay.
But that whole kind of scrunching your toes in the carpet thing, that was bad vibes last time. So nope, none of that.
Oh yeah, I remember
all
now.
business.
Yeah. So you can all set up. Alexei sort of goes, "Oh well, welcome to Cassius Prime. There should be everything that you'll need within this living quarters and this social complex. If you need anything, please do not, just let us know. We will do what we can. But like I say, this is not a hotel. This is a functioning facility. So if we are busy doing something, I apologize. But yes, I hope you enjoy your stay." And he seems like confused by that. Okay, goodbye.
I was just gonna say thanks, and then just shut his door.
And it doesn't seem to phase Alexei. He's like, "Oh, yes, yes. Enjoy your first night's stay, or while you are here."
Thank you, Alexei.
Yes, Alexei, honey, can I just have a word with you a moment? And the captain just wants to talk to the administration just to clear up a few things. And the players are now on Cassius Prime. The question is, you're going to be here for a little while. So, what is the player's intent to do?
And Wendy looks at Blaze and the dock and just goes, "Drink."
Let me deposit the Admiral, and yes.
As if that was ever
Put the cat in the room. Put the cat in the room.
To deposit the Admiral. What brilliant. Okay. So, yes, you can And what's Zam doing?
Zam's already in his room, so he's just like dumping his stuff.
He wasn't
Searching
invited.
himself.
No, he wasn't invited.
Oh God.
So, yeah, Zam's going to make his way to
Okay.
a different bar, I suppose.
Yeah. A different bar. Oh, Zam. You don't have to go to a different bar.
Wasn't
He
invited.
does.
I mean,
Well, you weren't present when the invitation was issued.
No. He wasn't invited. I've already written a note that says Zam has a small room because people hate him.
You could pretty much start any sentence or end any sentence with that.
Because people hate him.
Because
I
people
mean-
hate him.
You do it to yourself, and that's what really hurts.
it's so sad. And yet, I really believe in him. So, the first night, rather than get a good night's rest, like, and certainly the people that you found from the Icarus who, like, they haven't been anywhere like this. And certainly, like, you notice.
Can we invite them, particularly Roy, to sort of say, look, come and see. This is how real people live.
Am I not a real person?
I'm not entirely
No.
sure.
What do you mean? I'm not a figment of your imagination, Doctor.
More like a caricature.
How dare you? I'll drink you under the table, good sir. I will take you up on that invite.
Works for me.
Do you think they have Chardonnay here?
No.
Shit. Now, Sarah might take a little more convincing. Quill, he's going to take a bit of convincing as well, because as he walked through, you did notice he kind of put his hood up and he just kept his head down a little bit until he got to his room. But you can take you can take them if you want. I will not let you hold back.
I think
I'm not
the
going to
doc-
pressure them if they
Yeah.
don't want to come.
The doc will try and convince them that, especially Sarah, but both of them to a degree, that it's, they need to unwind. They need to relax, and
Okay.
this might be the way to start doing that.
Okay. So, they freshen up somewhat. They drop their things off, and everyone sort of meets up at the edge of D block and heads in to see the bars. Unbelievable. Put a party near a tavern, and what happens? And the others are with you. They all decide, like, okay, they're going to come with you. It'd be good. Just on the first night, just to have a drink before heading back, and just to de-stress a little bit. It's up to you, Sam. So the group head off first.
Yeah, Zam hasn't left the room yet.
He hasn't left the room yet. We'll pick up that later. As you head in, and you notice, like, more workers are sort of moving backwards and forwards, and you immediately sort of figure out that this is a mining colony that's 24/7 just on the go. Like, lots of shift work. You see people, like, in dirty overalls moving into their work habitats, and people in cleaner overalls moving outwards. And some of them in fairly sort of casual clothes, like moving into, like, sort of canteens and restaurants and bars, of which there's a couple that catch your eye. There's a dive bar called McCready's. You notice there's a slightly nicer looking bar called the Fortuna Lounge, and there's another one called Last Call. Last Call and McCready's are split up by the Fortuna Lounge in the middle, and they're not next to each other, but there's a decent amount. And you see there's some tables outside, but there's definitely as you get closer, there is a bit more of it. You can hear glasses clinking and a bit more atmosphere.
Which one looks the
kinda-
cheapest?
Yeah. Which is the dirtiest?
Yeah.
McCready's.
Which is the diviest?
yeah.
McCready's definitely looks. It looks like the dive bar. It looks like a bar that some of you maybe no stranger to in the past. But I mean, Doc, this might be a bit stranger to you guys, him and Sarah, but see a lot of like heavy duty people just sat around just drinking. You see screens playing old sort of like sports games, you imagine. There's some vintage sports games. There's also like, you know, the electro ball on there, which is like a sort of an American football of the future kind of thing with like bells and whistles.
Speedball too.
Of which yeah, that kind of there's a rollerball speedball type game, of which there's Quill sort of looks at the screen and then sort of turns away and he puts his sort of back to it. As he does so, I love that when your camera goes off, Gav, you do the Evil Dead to ignite it again. That is beautiful.
Sorry.
But yeah, and you can all get in there and you hear the clink of glasses, and it depends what you want. You can all grab a table.
Yep.
Are you
Grab a table.
Are you sitting in or out? There's a couple of tables outside.
There's only in. Really, it's all in.
I'll meet you outside.
Yeah. Yeah. And
I buy
it's a kind of spit and sawdust joint, but take it away, Doc.
I buy a bottle of whiskey and ask for 6 glasses.
Okay. Bottle of whiskey will be 40 credits.
Mm-hmm.
Not cheap, but and they do, like, when you go to the bar, the bartender there, who just seems like a sort of older gent, he's just sort of missing a couple of teeth, and he's sort of a fading hairline, but it's still quite long at the back. They're going, I don't think I've seen you here before.
No, you wouldn't have. We arrived today.
Oh, really? Are you new shift workers or?
No, we're just staying for a few weeks while our ship is repaired.
Oh, and he looks at the card. Oh, I see. Oh, okay, cool. And he sort of scans it, and so that's and he lines up the glasses of this. What kind of is it? Whiskey? Do you have to, Doc?
Yeah.
Yeah. Doc comes back to the table. There's sort of like a corner, a booth kind of thing that everyone can sort of sit around. It's big enough for everyone.
And I also, alongside the whiskey, can I ask our bar dude for just whatever the local thing is, whatever the workers' drink is.
So you want a beer?
Yeah,
Okay.
but none of your tourist beer, you know, proper
Tourist beer.
the shit you give to the locals.
All we have is locals, lady. And he just pours this, and it's a real sort of like frothy beer that is like, boom, and when he puts it in front of you, it sort of spills slightly. And each beer will be 5 credits. Just make that, yeah. It's not a real flashy joint. There are liquors. Liquors will be 5. It'll be 5 credits a shot, or 40 for a bottle. Beers are 5 credits, unless you want a jug, which should be 20. But yes, while this is happening and the drinks are laid out, Blaze, what were you drinking, by the way?
I'm waiting for Doc to pour one out for me.
Yeah.
I pour everyone a whiskey.
Cheers, Doc.
I don't really. Okay, I'm not really a whiskey. Okay.
It's like Chardonnay, just, tougher.
Oh!
Try not to breathe in after.
You just hear, bloody hell!
There we go.
Oh! And while the drinking has started, meanwhile, back in his room, ZAM BRAZEL.
Yeah.
What's going on, man?
Well, he's put on some really
you okay?
stinking cologne. Yeah. He's got his Magnum PI Hawaiian shirt on.
Oh, no, Zam's on the pull.
No.
In his room.
And then he's going to make his way to, I think he'll go to last call.
Okay.
Does he knock on anybody's door?
No. I imagine his room is like small and all that. He probably heard you all filing past.
Yeah, unless they. I mean, you may not have heard the. I mean, the door's pretty thick.
You would have heard the hubbub of.
Yeah,
of
you
them all
wouldn't have heard.
walking
You wouldn't.
past,
You wouldn't
but
have heard dialogue, but there's certainly. Yeah,
Yeah.
you would have heard moving past.
Come on, let's go before Zam wakes up.
So, as you head in, Zam, with your Hawaiian shirt, which gets a couple of looks. What kind of? Go on, paint a picture.
It's
Zam?
yeah, I'm thinking like proper Magnum PI. It's quite like garish and it's probably like I don't know. I imagine it's kind of like a neon pink and blue and green and red and it's just like really quite garish.
Pineapples and tropical.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
Any flamingos on there?
Yeah, flamingos and pineapples
Okay.
all over it.
Okay. Did you say you put on a cologne as well?
Really, really cheap like cologne. Yeah.
Oh, right. Oof.
Old Spice.
Yeah.
Old Space.
Old Space.
That's it, everyone. Night. Don't get better than that.
Ice, but in the June
And
font.
that's where we end.
Okay. So, and as everyone roll me a everyone roll me a D100. This is just a luck roll. Everyone roll me a
See
D.
if we can smell Zam. Isn't
Yeah.
People come running out of the other bar, just going.
Yeah.
I rolled a 10.
Okay.
89.
Oh, sorry. We
67.
supposed to roll the other one as well, yeah? Sorry. So that's
67.
17, sorry.
You rolled 67 as well.
Yeah, twinsies.
Everything.
What goes on tour stays on tour.
Blink toothpicks.
You can't handle the crunch.
Zam, you got
You
under
know
it.
nothing of the crunch.
You don't make me laugh. You were the only one that got under 50, yes, Sam?
Yeah, I got a 17, yeah.
Okay. The rest of the party, you see Zam walk past. It was a 50% chance. So as you're drinking, you notice Zam. I mean, out of he sticks out. Not the you can't smell the cologne from here, but the shirt itself is a neon wasteland in a sea of just a lot of beige and browns and everything. And then you see something neon sort of walk past, and you notice Zam there.
Oh, fucking hell.
As he walks past, but he continues walking past the bar. And you head into the last call
Last
then.
call, yeah.
Which is it's sort of it's a little nicer. It's not a complete step up. But there seems to be less of an atmosphere in here. It's less spit and sawdust. There's some old, some retro country music playing over the jukebox. And this is the electro country that you've heard on some of your, on some of the sort of bars you've frequented in the past.
Yeah.
So this is definitely more like a sort of Texas kind of bar. And there's people milling around.
It's
So.
Bob's Country Bunker, isn't it?
Yeah. But it's more, and this is a place where they have.
It's the Zam Goes line dancing
Yeah,
episode.
yeah,
It's like, oh my
yeah.
god.
Yeah. There's like
Content we didn't know we needed.
but this is also a place that has like a dartboard, and
Yeah.
like it's got a pool table, of which McCree's had a pool table as well, but this one also has one, has a couple. But Zam, you're in that, and you get a few as soon as you walk in. There's a few looks.
He's oblivious to it.
Yeah.
Doesn't care. Oblivious to it the lot.
Okay.
Head straight for the bar, and he's just gonna have an ale. And he's gonna hand over the captain's credit card that he got from the Icarus.
That's the long game.
Yeah,
Cheers.
Jim.
And it's like a sort of a black. I can't remember. Did I describe it before? It's sort of like a sleek. Black
Yeah, it was a
kind
black credit card, wasn't it?
Yeah. And they were like,
Yeah.
"Oh, well, I haven't seen one of these before, but as long as it's good." Yeah, what'll it be? And,
I'll have just a beer and whatever you want.
well, thank you kindly. He pours out a shot, knocks it back,
Cheers.
and you notice as soon as Zam doesn't notice anything, so I can't even tell the other players. As are you taking the black card with you? Or are you putting it behind the bar?
Yeah.
For now?
No, I'll take it back. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. You leave Zam behind. You go and spend your own money. Fools.
Okay. Back in Macready's, as like Zam, you find a nice little table to yourself. There's a few screens. Just play once again, sort of playing like some old TV from God knows when. Just something that a taste of civilization, somewhat. But you have a moment to yourself, Zam, away from everyone else, but still around people. How does Zam feel about that?
He's he's basically drowning in his beer. He's just gonna be drinking his beer, not really acknowledging people around him.
Okay. The first one for everyone.
There's a faint sadness underlying it, you know.
And the first beer is like the nectar of the gods. It's just, even though it's not the nicest stuff in the world, it disappears super quickly. The whiskey, Doc, you know this is lighter fuel, but it gets the job done. It's not as nice as the stuff. Yeah, not nice as the stuff you got on the ship. But back in Macready's, the atmosphere is everyone sort of sat around and small talk is happening. What are the players doing? I'm fascinated to see this play out now.
Wendy leans over towards Roy and is like, "Okay, then, tell us, how'd you get so rich?"
Well, I was a CEO of a artificial intelligence company, working on synthetics and the like. I mean, older models now, but we were eventually bought out by amalgamated interests, and I made a decent profit from it, and I've been living off it ever since. You know, but in some ways I do miss working with the androids and such, but things have moved on so much these days. I find it's more enjoyable to... Well, I used to find it enjoyable in luxury, but look where that got us. Could you pour me another shot, please, Doctor?
Of course.
And what of you, fair maiden? What's your story?
Oh, me?
Yes, you, dear.
Oh no, I'm not rich.
No, but what's your story?
I
witnessed some of what you did, saving your friend's life and all that. It was very impressive.
I spent some time in the military.
Hoorah.
Who are the Southwest military.
Who are?
Yeah.
And had a change of career into maintenance. And here we are.
So this is your retirement in a way, yes?
This is my escape.
Well, I
Madman.
mean, I must say, Wendy, isn't it? Yes, I must say, Wendy, it's a strange escape, but I admire anyone who's willing to get their hands dirty.
You don't do.
Oh no, I don't do any of
Well-
that business. Ever since I sold my company, I haven't. Dirty work's not for me.
But you started out making the androids, or
It was less making them. It was more working on some of their operational systems. The AI and such. Some of them were a little bit glitchy back in the day. I was very intrigued. Your captain seemed to be quite interested in it. I thought I heard her talking about she had parts of an android on the ship that she's brought with her. Is that the case?
yeah, we one of our crew, we had an incident with stretching him a little thin, and
Oh.
we have the top half, but not the bottom half.
Oh my.
I hope that's the way we got it. So yeah, we're just trying to, stitch.
Dick needs new legs.
Dick needs new legs.
Doc, as they're talking
The
about
D1000.
I remember that. Yeah, that model. I remember those models. Very, very good models. I thought they died away a long time ago. It's fascinating.
This one's special.
Oh, well, it's a shame I didn't get to meet him when he was up and walking around, as it were. But never know. You know.
And as they're talking about this, Doc, you notice like Sarah's like looking at them like she's permanently sort of like every time a bit of information comes out, she seems surprised, like what the hell am I doing here, kind of thing. So, Doctor, how are you feeling after everything? Are you okay?
Question, but all things considered.
Yeah. So you think what seems to be the plan? Do you think when they fix your ship, we're gonna head back with you, or?
I don't know. It might be that they arrange transport for you back to Earth.
I see. Okay. Well, the sooner we get home, the better, I suppose. Leave this awful. Well, not this place. This place is actually, there's something oddly reassuring about it, but.
It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah. Reminds me a little of I don't know, some of the olden bars we used to visit at college. Anyway, I think I need another drink.
I'll just pour her another whiskey.
I'll get more beers.
More beers. How many beers you getting, Wendy?
How many's the right number?
Wow.
6 of you, I think, isn't it?
Yeah.
Quill isn't drinking.
But I'll buy beer anyway.
Okay. So, yeah, 6 in total. Unless you get 2
Cool.
jugs. If you get 2 jugs, that'll do. That'll do the
Yeah.
table.
Cool.
And a couple more, probably. When he comes back with a couple of... And, back at the last call. How many beers in are you, Zam?
2. He's slowly drinking them, so.
Okay. And you're just sitting there. You do notice you are getting some funny looks occasionally from some of the people that are clearly off shift.
Yeah, so he'll just turn to the barman and just go, "What's up with them?"
Well, my first thought will be they ain't seen anyone looking like you in some time. Where the hell did you get a shirt like that, sir?
Yeah, my ex-wife got me this. I'm wearing it as a protest.
That's one hell of a protest.
Yeah. She said I'd never wear it.
She doesn't work here, does she?
Nah, she's a long way from here.
And that's a good thing, is it?
Oh, hell yeah. You don't want to meet her.
Well, I tell you what. Here's to those we loved and lost, and good riddance. And he pours you another drink and just.
Yeah, everyone needs
Cheers.
some.
Thank you kindly. And as you gonna head back to your table? Or you
No, I think he's just sat
sat at the bar.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Then we'll cut back. Wendy, as you're walking back, you got the 2 jugs in hand, and you're walking back. Someone walks to the bar and just shoulder checks you a bit, and you spill some of the jugs. Like, watch where you're fucking going. And he's a big, stocky dude who's just sort of like grunts and heads towards the bar.
Do you want to do this now? Really?
What do you say to me?
I said, do you want to do this now?
Do what? I ain't done anything to you.
And Wendy drops the jugs of ale and punches him.
Okay. Okay.
Saloon fight.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, baby. Okay then. Bar brawl, baby. Then I will say,
Welcome to Wendy World.
I would say make a combat check, because you got the first shot in and he wasn't. I'll allow that to be surprised because he did not see that coming.
With athletics?
Yeah, I'll allow that.
If she glassed him, would that be more damage?
Let's not get into...
I'm not sure the jugs were made of glass, so, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Face glass.
Space glass, yeah.
That
Unbreakable.
is a 23 success.
Roll me a D10. Well, roll me a D5, so D10 and then half it.
7. So, 3. Are you rounding down? 3.
Okay. Here we go. As the rest of you hear the... It's like slow motion, that... Just dropping... And as he turns around, looking like he's probably about to make a move, Wendy, like... He's looking aggressive. But he's... In slow motion, his eyes look down. And as he looks down, the fist... I mean, Wendy... How do you hit
Yeah,
him?
yeah, no, it's this is the right
Where are
hook
you aiming?
coming in.
Jaw.
Mm-hmm. I think
Bang!
maybe he's a little bit taller.
Yeah. Teeth fly out of his mouth as he stumbles back. You hear, the rest of you hear the shatter. Zam's in a different bar. So he's like... just eating some salted peanuts.
Electro country.
Yeah, listen to Electro Country.
He
As,
turns into the electro version of your cheating heart. Yeah.
and I can imagine it now as this is going on. It's going to cut backwards and forwards. The difference between
It's going to cut back
That's just
to
the
Zam.
soundtrack.
Yeah.
It's just going to cut back to Zam, and like all the country songs are going to be about like, you know, cheating.
yeah.
Being
We'll
on your own.
Done me wrong.
We will
Yeah.
bear that. We'll bear that in mind because Zam's going to be part of the initiative for a funny dramatic scene. Okay. You hit this bloke and he tumbles. You dislodged a couple of teeth. He tumbles back and he hits the bar with a heavy thud. And he's like, "Motherfucker!"
Do you really want to do this?
And he just sort of looks at him. "I'm gonna fucking kill you, junker." And then you see, as the rest of you see this happen, because you heard the glasses, and you turned around and saw Wendy just clock a guy in the face. He hits the bar, and there's a couple of other people, heavy duty looking people, that are stepping up and moving towards Wendy. I need everyone to make a speed check, including Zam, because this could be quite funny in some ways as well.
Ooh.
The dice have woken up.
Zam's rolled a 14.
Wendy
That's
has
a
also
success.
rolled a 14.
No way.
Twinsies!
Wendy.
No.
Cheating on Blaze now.
Okay.
I was going to say you have to match with Doc now to get the hat trick.
So this is
I wouldn't.
Trick with Patrick.
Blaze. What did you get?
24.
Ooh.
So that's another success as well. So we got 3 successes.
Yes,
so far.
because 34 is my bed.
Okay, this is going to be brilliant. Doc, what did you get?
84 fail.
84 fail.
Doc's loving that whiskey. too
Brilliant.
much.
We will keep this initiative order as everything flows through, because I think this will be rather than doing it every time. First off, as this happens and these guys begin to stand up, back in the last call, what's Zam doing at this moment in time?
Fistful of nuts. Just, that bar nuts. Chopping on them. Drinking his beer. The music's really starting to, play with his mind now. It's just dredging up all the old memories. So,
Is it an electro version of Achy Breaky Heart
Yeah.
now?
Yeah.
Something comes on that maybe reminds him of his wedding.
It's going to be Uptown Girl, isn't it? Yeah.
Uptown girl.
Yeah, so I think at that point a solitary tear will just roll down.
Yeah. And as the solitary tear rolls down, I'm gonna fucking kill you, you bitch! And these other two, as this guy's struggling to his feet.
I mean, he didn't hear that.
No, he didn't.
No.
This is purely comedy cuts. That's what we're gonna do here. As back in the bar, 3 other figures step up from their tables and begin rushing towards you, Wendy. As this other guy is also, he's got a bloodied, his mouth is a mess, and he's struggling to his feet. What is Wendy thinking, and what is Wendy gonna do? She's got three targets that are moving towards her. They're not on her right now. They're almost on her and she's got the dude right in front of her.
Wendy is gonna stay focused on her dude, and is gonna go. And he's sort of leaning slightly down against the bar.
Yeah, he sort of leaned back and he's sort of picking himself up against the bar. So
he's gonna get a boot in the face.
Make a combat roll.
Oh no, that's a 70.
Oh,
that's a bad miss.
And the boot, bang, as he just moves out of the way just at the last moment, and your boot connects loud with the bar itself. Like, fucking psycho!
Yeah.
And
oh yeah.
now there are 2 actions, so I'll allow you if you want to have another go, because if you can move,
Mm-hmm.
but if you're staying where you are, I would say for the purpose of this fight, you can move and then hit, or you can hit twice and stay where you are, that kind of thing.
Can I have another pop at him?
If
then?
you want, you can have another pop at him. Yeah.
Nice kind of kung fu kick motion of.
Yeah, so you miss the first
got
one,
that in
swing round with the other one.
That is a 4.
He's halfway
Nose
through.
on the nose.
He's halfway through calling you a psycho, and when he gets through it,
oh yeah.
his nose explodes and his head hits the back of the bar, and he drops down unconscious.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Next.
And Blaze, you can see, as she says next, there's 3 guys moving towards her.
Doc, hope you brought a medkit.
I don't generally bring them out on nights out.
And okay, so Blaze, you will have to move to get out of your seat, but then you can make an attack if you want to hit one of these guys.
See, this is going to sound like a dick thing, but I think Blaze just wants to watch and not tread on Wendy's toes because he thinks she can handle it.
Yeah.
So he's just like,
that is perfectly fine. Yeah. So does Blaze essentially go, "Where's your? I hope you got your med kit," and then sits back and starts drinking.
Yeah.
Okay.
These boys are in for a rough time.
Okay. Then Wendy's gonna get 3 attacks come at her. It's these dudes.
Oh, yeah.
They all move in, and they're just gonna try and hit you, Wendy. Almost like an action movie.
And let me just establish this. Sorry, you're all friends together at this bar, yeah? and you're just gonna let Wendy take a beating.
Okay.
I don't think she's going to take a beating.
First guy swings in and misses. This heavy arm. So he sort of goes, "Ugh!" And the second one comes in with another swing, and he misses. As she's dodging and weaving.
She's like a polecat.
And the third guy has a bottle, and he swings, and he misses.
Mean.
So
Anybody.
you see Wendy's just ducking everyone. She's just totally like. So,
Anybody here not too polite to hit a lady?
So the music then changes to everybody was kung fu fighting.
Slow down country version.
I was going to say, maybe they channel that through all the bars to say, there's a fight coming up.
Yeah. And the bar's certainly, like, the atmosphere's changed, and Sarah says to you, "Shouldn't we do something?"
Yes, I think you're right.
And
Pours another drink.
And and Zetterling goes,
You're absolutely right. Give 'em hell, Wendy.
but Quill looks like he's about to move to try and interject.
Sit down, Quill. You get yourself hurt.
Okay, let's make a contested speed check. Blaze, as he goes to move, are you going to try and stop him?
Yes. Not forcefully, but... 22. Is that a fail or a...
That's a success.
That's a success, isn't it?
That's a
That's a crit success.
That is a critical success. And do you know what? I got a 23.
Ooh.
So when you go to stop him, it's 2 very strong people. Like, what the hell do you think you're doing, man?
He's got this handle. You're allowed to get in their way. Sit down, enjoy the show.
Doc, it's your turn. Yeah, pouring him a drink.
Yeah. Action 1, drink. Action 2, pour again.
Reload.
And as the Doc sits back, we cut back to the last. What's Zam doing?
Sam's on his like 4th beer now, I think. And he's just like, I imagine you said it's quieter in there, yeah?
Yeah, it's a little bit quiet.
Like the barman's just kind of like cleaning a glass, and Zam's just there then. And you know, like, I'm a nice guy. I don't understand why they go. You know, we always leave.
Well, you know, have you told him your name at this moment in time?
No.
Well, you know, it's just the way of things, you know. The whole circle of life kind of thing.
No, they all think I'm such an asshole, but it hurts inside, you know?
I know,
It really
but
hurts.
you know what makes
I
it...
mean, they're somewhere else, just having a great time, you know? Oh, they're all together, they're probably loving life, you know? I'm
Well, you
just
know,
here
it's-
on my own.
Hey, you're not on your own. You got beer. Do you want another one?
Yeah,
Let's
man.
have your card.
Okay.
And we cut Wendy.
Hi.
As the three guys are swinging around, they are right in your face now. They are not as big as the other dude. The dude that you took out with 2 hits. They are. You immediately think, I might be able to take these guys. Yeah, these won't be as hard to take out. But what do you do?
I grab one of them who's near the bar.
Yeah.
I'm assuming we're quite close to the bar, and just kind of spin around and kind of slam him so his forehead hits on the bar.
Okay. You got this dude that's got like a sort of.
I endeavour to do this.
Yeah. He's got like a sort of almost like looks like a fishing jacket of some kind, and like a dirty yellow t-shirt. You know.
That is a 48, which is a success using my athletics.
You just see Wendy, as the first guy sort of swings and misses with the bottle, she just turns him, twists him, bang, and he's down. He drops. He immediately spark out. And there's 2 others.
Wendy looks at the barman and says, 2 more jugs of ale.
What?
And prepares herself for the next thing that will happen.
Okay. It's like, what?
Please.
There's a blood smear on the top of the bar where this guy's face. Okay. So what would you like to do, Wendy? Are you essentially holding your second action?
Slamming the guy's head down, ordering beer, turning around.
Okay. And just leaning against the bar. Okay.
Just kind of looking like
my-
you really, really don't want to come anywhere near me.
My God, this is amazing. I'm terrified of Wendy right now. And Blaze, it's your turn.
Ooh.
Quill's kind of like,
My go.
he's that's your game. You're just gonna sit back and watch this, yeah. And with every sort of smash, you hear like, oh, like those sort of sounds. And okay, so first guy, one of the other guys picks up a chair, and he's gonna swing it at Wendy as she's there waiting for the drinks. She ducks and it smashes against the bar itself. Like, it's a wooden chair, it just shatters. And the second guy,
Out of your paycheck, mate.
and the second guy is just going to come in and he's just going to try and sort of shoulder tackle you into the bar in order to try and sort of get some kidney punches in. I got 100.
Ooh.
So this guy slams into the... Yeah, that's a critical success. But he slams in and just starts punching you really hard in the kidneys. And you will take... and it would be a D5, but I'm just going to roll a D10. 4 points. 4 points of damage. And you feel it, I think because it's the kidney area as well. He's really these are like rocks. These are workman's hands that are just smashing
And
into you.
you hear this kind of and then this.
Hang on, I've got to roll a panic check for myself. That's terrifying. All right, okay. And with that, that's their turn. The rest. I mean, seeing how this is playing out, Quill's just noticed how Wendy's doing, and he's settled down a little bit more. It's the Doc's turn.
Just sits there watching.
Do you think they'll let us continue to drink here after this, Doctor?
Well, if not, there's 2 more bars we can ruin next door.
Here, pour another one. And meanwhile, as Wendy is laughing at this guy punching her, back in the last call, was it last call or last shot? What was it?
Yeah,
What-
last call.
Last call. Back in the last call, by the bar, how's ZAM BRAZEL doing?
So first
Another
off,
beer down.
He's got another beer. He's just looking at the barman and he's going, "You ain't a robot, are you?"
No,
I had a lot of trouble with robot
Uh,
bar people.
we only got robots working in the mining facility. It's just nothing but
You ain't
flesh and
no
bone up here,
robot.
man.
You're not gonna try and kill me like the last guy.
No, I mean, to be honest, I think you're doing a damn good job of killing yourself right now. But
I'm trying.
are you sure? Oh, I think I'm gonna cut you off right there, sir. I think you've had enough. Do you want a coffee or something?
She used to drink coffee.
Oh, shit. And back in the bar with Wendy. As this guy sort of like, he's almost like rugby tackled. You're pinned against the bar as he's like punching into the side of you.
I would like to.
And just as you're there laughing, a jug appears. 2 jugs appear.
Kind of grab the back of his neck and just yoink my knee up into his chin, assuming he's kind of like grappling me. So knee him under the chin.
He's put himself in that position, so I would say advantage for you because he's put himself in the firing line of a knee. Anyone else terrified of Wendy right now?
I'm not.
You're terrified of life, Sam, at the moment.
Sorry, I accidentally rolled a d20. That's wrong. So that's a 27, which is a success.
Okay. You laugh and you feel a satisfying connection of knee to nose, the nose squashing inwards, and the bloke just drops to the floor. You've taken him out. Just to be clear, she's not killing these guys. She's just absolutely hitting the spot she needs to do. And there's one other.
Everyone?
And there's one more guy who looks a little more scared now. He's sort of like, "What the fuck, lady?"
I will turn around, pick up the jugs of beer which are on the bar, and make my way back to our table, and just look and go, "You best run along home now."
Okay. So Wendy begins heading back to the table. Blaze, as you see Wendy sort of walking back.
That's my go.
Okay. The guy charges to rugby tackle Wendy in the back.
What's your 6?
I will say, Blaze, give me a this isn't stress or anything to get this. Make a speed check to make sure to see if you can let her know beforehand. If you don't succeed, he'll get advantage on this.
Failure.
No,
42.
Failure. He's running in. First one's a failure. Second one's a failure. As this guy,
Maybe he slips on the beer that's already on the floor.
he's like, "Ah!" And he slips and he sort of spills onto the floor, and you hear, "Whoa!" There's 3 other guys that are completely unconscious, and like the bar sort of starts to go quiet. So he's like, "The fuck this? Who the fuck are you?" She's just there with 2.
She's just got to turn around and just kind of go, "I'm Wendy." Sit down.
He's like, "Oh, fucking goddamn junkers." As he dusts himself off and he begins slowly making his way over to try and help his friends who are like, just absolutely like faces covered in blood. And you just hear some bar staff sort of like talking about like how they're going to have to clean this up now. As Wendy's just she's walking away from this scene like it was nothing, and she just sits down with 2 jugs. And
It was fun.
Good work, Marine.
Thanks. It's been a while.
Couldn't tell. You had a dancer's grace.
And like the barman approaches and says, while they're sort of cleaning up their friendly, excuse me, ma'am, I'm sorry to ask, but we didn't actually charge for these two. Can I get your card for this?
Put it away, Wendy. I got this.
And Sarah just sort of moves over closer to you, Wendy, and just sort of says, "You gotta teach me. You gotta teach me something like that. That was amazing."
It will be my pleasure.
And you see, there's a lot of like people in this bar that are sort of. Some of them are kind of looking approvingly. Some of them are scowling, not happy about it. As the whole thing is, as the barman's like, "There's nothing to see here. Get Stockton out of here. He's a goddamn menace. You finally got what you deserve, Stockton. Now get out of my fucking bar." He's a fucking junker. As they,
Roy?
as they do. Yes, my dear. I know he sounded like me for a moment there, but that was purely coincidental.
It's your long lost brother.
Yeah. I must say, it's never a dull moment when we're with you. Back in the last call.
Zam's nursing his fifth beer. He's like halfway through his fifth beer, and he's just kind of like gently sobbing and sniffing.
Oh, Zam, why is it so sad?
He's not even talking to the barman now. He's just kind of like. You can hear the soft drip as the tears drip into the beer.
Oh my god. Zam is sat there on his own. And we've temporarily lost Gavin's camera again, but that's alright. He's still.
I'm still here.
He's still here. For our audio,
the news.
for our audio listeners, it will mean nothing to you because Gav, you're still here, aren't you?
I'm still here.
See, as back in Macready's, after this flash of violence, the mood seems to have lifted somewhat. Maybe it's the alcohol. Maybe it's watching Wendy absolutely paste a couple of people who probably deserved it. But Doc, as you're sitting there just drinking, and the conversation is milling around, and there's a good atmosphere. Blaze is seemingly quite. He's got a bit of energy to him after watching Wendy in her element.
Thoroughly impressed.
Yeah. And he's become livelier and they're talking. Even gotten Quill to talk a little bit. And there's a moment where you just see something out of the corner of your eye. Just there's like a shape. It's near the entrance of the bar.
I'll turn and look.
When you turn and look, you look over, and in the entrance of the bar, you see a small child stood there in a hospital gown, just staring at you. And then just go before running off.
I'm going to get up and go after it. Not say anything, just get up and go.
You see the Doc step up from the bar and he begins moving outwards. Doc, could you make me a sanity save, please?
Okay. '61 failure, and because I'm a scientist, whenever I fail a sanity save, all nearby friendly players gain 1 stress. Sorry.
Not Zam. He's too busy.
Nope.
He's crying into his beer.
He said friendly.
And you fail, and you see the doc. The rest of you just see the doc. He immediately steps up and he begins rushing towards the entrance of the bar, like he's
Doc,
seen something.
what's got Doc so spooked?
Maybe he's gone for med kit for those guys. You know, that oath thing that doctors are supposed to take, you know?
Yeah, hypocrites.
Yeah.
As we see that.
Oh, you did do a number on him.
Damn what you did. And the doc, you rush to the entrance of this bar. And you see that there's people coming in. But there's nothing there. And when you get there, and you look around for a moment, and you look, and there's crowds milling around. There's people moving in and out of bars. There's a few more people moving into the bars near you, but no sign of a child anywhere. And then you hear the sound behind you. Someone crying. From within the bar.
Yeah, I'll follow the sound.
You turn, and immediately you're face to face with the same figure that you saw on the O'Brien. Nose to nose. And as the tears are streaming down their face, they just scream, "I'll fucking kill you!" and raise their hands towards your throat. Make me a body save, please, Doc.
$77. Critical failure.
Roll me a panic check.
Fuck. Hang on, I've got to add my stress first, I assume.
Yeah. So, what stress have you got? Just to reiterate for our lovely people at home.
This now, with the failure just now and then that failure, that puts me on 11 stress.
11. So, right now, this is the only D20 roll that our my players need to roll in this game. And right now, PJ, a.k.a. Doc Forrest, has to roll above that with a D20. You got a 1.
One.
Oh.
Could you roll me 2D10?
15.
15. For the next 15 minutes, you are laser focused. You have advantage on all rolls for the next 15 minutes. As you see Doc turn around and he closes it, he looks shocked for a moment and then closes his eyes. And Wendy, you see it as you just sort of look
Did
out.
we hear the voice?
No.
Okay.
You saw him look out, turn round, look back into the bar. He's startled for a moment, closes his eyes, and when he opens them, there's a steely determination to his eyes that you haven't seen before. And that's where we're going to end this week's episode. Welcome to Cassius Prime, people. And I knew it was going to be fun. And even with Gavin's camera problems, he was there when we needed him. I.e., just drinking and watching Wendy mess people up.
I was going to say, if you were gonna cut back to Zam.
Yeah, let's have a little cut back to Zam.
Post credits.
Yeah.
Little epilogue.
Drama.
He's nearly finished his 5th beer now, and he's singing loudly "Sweet Caroline."
God, do you know what? I can't even make that sinister in any way. That's the way we're going to fade out after the credits. There's that moment of Zam just sitting there, and just people like looking at him like,
"Sweet Caroline."
It's just like this lament going through all the pipes and the vents of this colony.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like,
As these miners are walking past, with bloodied faces, and he's completely oblivious to it. And that is where we will fade out on this week's episode. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining us. It's been another fun one. I love the fact that my players thought I was going to throw monsters at them immediately, but
hello, you did.
Instead, I throw PJ. Look, I haven't even started, baby. Look.
This is still that fucking haunted condition I've got, isn't it? That's what they.
Gotta love game mechanics, baby. No, it's been another fun one. Where will the story go from here? Well, you have to tune in next week to find out, because there's a lot going on with all of the characters, it seems. How will Wendy be now that she's finally sated some of that bloodlust?
So chill.
she's chiller now than she has been in weeks. How will the doc be? What will ZAM be like? Maybe the party will bump into him stumbling out of the bar next time. That may be an amazing way to start next week's episode, but you'll have to tune in to find out what happens. And thank you to my lovely, wonderful players for another brilliant session. Where can people find you all online, etc.? Let's start with Jim.
Twitter.
That was so sultry.
Musk book, as it's soon to be called.
Oh God, God.
Yeah,
no.
at Jimbob 1978.
Yeah, the social media links may change at some point. We never know. Lizzie, what were you?
At Lizzie Boyle says on assorted platforms, basically Twitter, and yeah, Instagram. But I don't do anything on Instagram, so don't go there unless you just want a quiet time.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, sometimes we need a quiet time, especially after some of these sessions. Unless you're Blaze Kelvin. Gav, where can they find you?
Twitter and Instagram at Bob Goblin, BOBGOBLYNN.
Wonderful. This is a horror game.
Spell it weird.
Yeah, this is a horror game, and recently Gav did a wonderful Inktober that was spooky. So go check that out on Instagram.
What was your prompt, Vincent?
I prompt you to do nothing. Make a panic check. No. And PJ, where can they find you?
Twitter at PJ Montgomery, Instagram, I think it's PJM82. There might be an underscore in there. I can never remember, and I never check.
Those classic underscores, they'll get you every time.
Just, Google me, I guess.
That's a oh, Mr. Darcy.
You get that as you go through security.
Yeah, they almost googled ZAM this week. You can follow me on the internets at Jester Diablo, and you can follow this show at Safe Space RPG on the social medias, etc. Thank you very much for checking this out. Also, thank you very much to ELIOT Red for our wonderful theme tune, which is wonderful. To Gav for doing our wonderful credit sequence, which I get a kick off every time.
I'll have to do some teeth flying through space after knocking him out of patrons.
Can we have Sam in his Hawaiian shirt as well?
Yeah. Oh God. It's just gonna be like junk just floating through space every time.
Get himself into sadness.
Yeah. And
tears.
If you enjoyed some of the atmospheric, spooky, or maybe the cool bar music that you listen to here while Wendy was absolutely wrecking fools, then thank you to Tim from Tabletop Audio. Go to Tabletop Audio, follow them on Patreon, because there's loads of ambient music, stuff like this, that you can use for your home games. Brilliant. Love it. Wonderful. And thank you to them for the use of their music. Like, subscribe, do all of those wonderful things. But until we see you next time and see where this wonderful crew go and what trouble they can get into, because one night and they've already started a fight. Yeah. Who knows?
Yeah,
but what?
It's probably better for the crew that Wendy waited to be in a bar full of strangers.
Yep. That's all we got to say. It's like a powder keg of drama. this game, and I love it. So join us next week for more amazing science fiction horror, and from the party, from the Susan O'Brien, from all of the NPCs that I'll probably forget the names of next week. Wherever you are in the world or in the galaxy, stay safe. Bye, everyone.
Bye. I'm waving.
He's waving.
I'm waving.
We don't know that.
You've lost the news.
I'm not
Peter.
waving. I lied.
You monster!
No one lies on the internet, Gavin.